So UFC Fight Night, Cannonier versus Rodrigues is this weekend, and I actually don't think this is too bad of a card. There's actually some pretty decent fights on this card. We've had some stinker fight nights, but I reckon there's some decent fights, and there's some pretty good value on all of these guys. But anyway, without further ado, let's get into it. First fight of the night, Gabriel Bonfim, 16-1 versus Chaos Williams, 15-3. I'm going with the underdog. I'm going Chaos Williams. Multiple reasons. Firstly, Bonfim is very good. He is very good. Like, don't get me wrong, he's good. But there is some worrying stuff about this matchup with Chaos Williams. Firstly, he was meant to be fighting Renat Fagrednov. Renat is a wild striker, throws big bombs, so sort of similar to Chaos Williams, but Chaos Williams much more of a striker. Better gas tank, more powerful. Second, Bonfim, he can box, but when he does box, he's very aggressive on the feet. He doesn't move his head a lot. His head is just right there to be hit. Very good grappler, but the thing about Chaos Williams, he is so freaking strong. This guy is called the Ox Fighter for a reason. Very good takedown defense. Very strong guy. He's got very good hips. I don't think Bonfim will be able to go out there and ragdoll him. And I think this fight will play out on the feet. And the longer this fight's on the feet, the more chance there is for Chaos Williams to land a big bomb and put Bonfim out. Plus, we've seen Bonfim get chinned. And it was due to fatigue against Nicholas Dalby. But I think he could fatigue in this fight. And I think Chaos Williams has the cardio advantage. That is the thing about Chaos Williams. He actually has really good cardio. And even if he is tired, he's got like a sort of a Dricus Duplessis type heart. Like, even if he's gassed, he will still keep going forward and throwing big bombs. So I think Chaos Williams will get this one done over Gabriel Bonfim as an underdog. Then we have Angela Hill versus Caitlin Souza. Wow, Angela Hill is the favorite. I'm sort of surprised about that. I mean, she only lost to Korean Silva. She's not bad. I'm sort of surprised about the odds here. Like, why is Angela Hill such a big favorite? Not like a massive favorite, but like, I'm just surprised at that. Angela Hill is a gritty veteran. Last fight, she lost to Tabitha Ricci, but it was a close fight. I think she could have arguably won it. I don't know. That seems to be the case of every freaking fight in Angela Hill's career. Is a fight. Oh, she arguably could have won that. I'm going to go Caitlin Souza. She's powerful. She's got submissions. I'll go Caitlin Souza. She's also much younger. Like, come on. Angela Hill's 40. Like, she's got to surely start losing a lot more. I mean, she is 17-14, so it's not like she's she's like got this crazy record, but like, surely Caitlin Souza will win this, but I'll go Souza here. Then we have Rafael Estevan versus Jesus Aguilar. I'm going Rafael Estevan. I know he hasn't fought for a very long time. I think the last time he fought was against Charles Johnson. So, he's only had one fight in the UFC, and that was a pretty long time ago when you think about it. Over a year and 3 months ago. So he's been out for a bit, but he did impress me in that fight. I know he missed weight, but like, to be able to get down Charles Johnson's pretty impressive, because Charles Johnson has some pretty good takedown defense, and obviously Charles Johnson is a very good fighter. Jesus Aguilar's got a very good guillotine and overhand, but I feel like that's all he's sort of got. I could see a world where Estevan shoots and gets guillotined, but like, surely not. Like, surely not again. Big reach advantage for Estevan. He's not like the greatest on the feet, but I would say like they've got similar striking. They're both overhand heavy. I feel like Estevan's going to be a bigger guy. But Jesus Aguilar, he makes these fights tough. Like, he really does make these fights tough. But I'm going to say that Estevan gets this one done. I believe in this Rafael Estevan to get this one done. I think he's a good prospect. Then we have Volta Walker versus Dontel Mays. Oh my god, this is such a weird fight to predict. I don't know who to pick. I really don't know who to pick here, to be honest with you guys. But because Dontel Mays isn't that bad. He's not that bad. But he's not that good either. And I think he's such a hard fighter to predict. I'm going to go with Volta Walker. He's a grappler. He did lose to Lucas Bresky, which I don't like. like tougher isn't like the greatest on the ground either. Oh, this is such a difficult fight to predict. Like seriously, who do I actually pick here? I don't quite know, to be honest. I Part of me really wants to go with Dontel. Oh, but he was getting taken down by Hamdi Abdullah. I know he was on roids, but his takedown defense isn't amazing. I'll go Volta Walker. He could arguably just get a leg lock like Cyril Gane did. Not as athletic, but he probably could just sub him like Cyril Gane did. Then we have Vince Morales versus Elijah Smith. I'm going to go Elijah Smith. He looked really good on Contender Series. Aaron Toe, in my opinion, isn't like super technical or like an amazing fighter from the scene. Like I've watched a lot of his fights. He's very untechnical. He's a bit of a brawler, and he did have a pretty good third round against Elijah Smith. But he was very undersized for bantamweight. But I think Elijah Smith will win this fight. I think he's a good prospect. I don't think he's going to go on to be like something crazy by any means. But I think he can beat like the Vince Moraleses of the world, who he's back. Lost to Taylor Lappius. Yeah, I'm gonna trust in Elijah Smith here. Maybe the UFC jitters get to him, but I'll go Elijah Smith. Then we have Julia Avila versus Jacqueline Cavalcante. I'm gonna go with Cavalcante. She looked pretty good her last couple. A lot of decisions, but I think they'll fight she clearly won. I think they're weird split decisions. Who's the favourite here? Heavy favourite, yeah, I trust that. She's got good boxing. She can grapple too. She's well rounded. So I'll go Cavalcante. I feel like I said it better the first time. Anyway, Rodolfo Vieira versus Andre Petroski. This was originally meant to be Jacob Malkoun. But now he pulled out. Petroski steps in. I like Vieira in this fight. He's got a good jab. He's powerful. He's a better grappler than Petroski. And Petroski's not like a cardio machine like an Anthony Hernandez. So I feel like Rivera can look very good in this fight. I think he could win on the feet. I think he can sub Petroski. Petroski's not got like the greatest chin. We've seen him get knocked out by Michel Pereira, and then he got knocked out by the thigh of Jacob Malkoun. That's not even me exaggerating. That really did happen. I like Vieira in this fight. He's a good grappler, obviously. Petroski's a good grappler too, but I just feel like Vieira will get this one done. His striking, in my opinion, is better than Petroski, and I think he's a better jiu-jitsu fighter. Maybe the wrestling, you could argue, goes Petroski, but Vieira is like a athletic freak as well. That's worth mentioning. And he's got a bit of momentum. He beat Brundage, where he did almost get chinned, but Brundage does have power. Then he arm triangled Petrosian. And then he beat Derek Brunson in a grappling match as well, which is pretty good for him. Did it in the first round, but Derek Brunson's a bit of a problem in the first round, so he did it early, which I like. Even though it was just a grappling, he should win a straight grappling contest. But regardless, I'll go Rodolfo Vieira here. Then we have Edmund Shabazian versus Dylan Budka. Oh man, Dylan. You've got to trust in Edmund Shabazian here. Like, surely. I know he lost to GM3, but that is the great GM3. Can't fault him too much for that. Like, the GM3 is just one of those fighters that doesn't make sense. But he was also beating the shit out of GM3. And GM3 is much better on the feet than a Dylan Budka. Dylan Budka has zero striking. No striking at all. He's just a grappler. Like, come on. Edmund Shabazian knocked out Brad Tavares. Like, come on, surely he can beat Dylan Budka. Like, his takedown defense is good as well. Dylan Budka is not even like a cardio machine either. I like Edmund Shabazian to get a first round KO here. Surely he will win this. It's famous last words. Surely Edmund Shabazian wins this one. But yeah, I'll go Edmund Shabazian first round KO. Then we have Jose Delgado versus Conor Matthews. If this is the guy I'm thinking of. Yeah, this guy impressed me on Dana White Contender Series. This guy's violent, very good striker. Conor Matthews, he beat a pretty good prospect on Dana White Contender Series, but then he got just destroyed by Dennis Bazooka. I'm gonna go Jose Delgado. I trust in this guy. He looked very good on Contender Series. He's very violent, very good striker. I think he has the tools to beat somebody like a Conor Matthews. Then we have Ismail Bonfim versus Nazim Sadikov. I'm going to go with Nazim Sadikov here. I trust in Nazim Sadikov. I think he's a very good fighter. You know, not a bad guy, not a bad fighter. Like 9-1-1. Had a draw against Slava Claus. Not nothing to be ashamed of there. Only lost in his debut. And he's like beat some pretty good guys. He beat McKinney, so has Bonfim. But he also beat Evan Elder. But he was losing that fight. But Evan Elder's like a dog. Evan Elder is a really good fighter. He knocked out Ahmed Hassanda, who I think is awful. I'm just going to be honest with you guys. I don't think Ahmed's like an amazing fighter. He looked awful on Dana White Contender Series. I honestly don't think he's ever going to win a fight in the UFC. But anyway, Ahmed Hassanda slander aside, I'll go with Nassim Sadikov. Ismail Bonfim just didn't impress me very much against Vince Pichel. He gassed out a little bit. He looked pretty flat in that fight. Maybe there was more behind that performance. But I'll go Nazim Sadikov to get this one done. Then we have Calvin Guitar versus Yusuf Salal. Wow, I am really shocked at these odds, to be honest with you guys. Why is Calvin Guitar such a massive underdog? What the fuck? Yeah, like, Yusuf Salal is looking good, but like Jano Aarons, Billy Quarantillo. Yeah, I mean, Quarantillo, he's not looking too hot at the moment. Jano Aarons was never really particularly that great. And Jack Shaw is not a good featherweight. Like, these are not guys who I would assume means you go on to destroy a Kelvin Guitar. I know Kelvin Guitar didn't look amazing against Aljamain Sterling, but Sterling was taking down Movsar Evloev. Like, you know what I mean? Like, there is levels. Like, I feel like even like you look at the guys that Kelvin Guitar's beat. I mean, I guess people are looking that he's on a free fight losing streak, but he beat Josh Emmett, then got injured against Arnold Allen. Like, before that, he had like a career best performance against Giga Chikadze, and like he clearly beat Josh Emmett. Like, it was clear as day that he won that fight. I guess there was the Max Holloway fight, but he's shown a very good chin. His takedown defense is pretty good when he's not fighting Aljamain Sterling, who is like a former UFC champion and who still has it. I'm going Kelvin Guitar. Like, Yusuf Zalal is good. Don't get me wrong, he's a very good fighter, but I feel like this is a step too soon for him. Like, we've seen him struggle against guys like Sean Woodson. And I know this is like going back to his older fights, but like he lost to Sean Woodson, Ilia Topuria. Like, there's no hate there. Ilia Topuria's a beast. Sungwoo Choi though, that's a bad look in my opinion. Then he had the draw with Damon Blackshear. He moved down for that fight as well. Like, it was a bit weird. He like went back down to bantamweight. It just never went back down. Really weird when you think about it. But he showed that he can fight at bantamweight. So I get Kelvin Guitar did lose to a bantamweight in his last fight as well against Aljamain Sterling. But there is levels. I'm going Kelvin Guitar. I think he'll win this fight. Yusuf Zalal's very good, don't get me wrong, but I don't understand it. Why is Yusuf Zalal such a big favourite here? Like, Kelvin Guitar is still that guy, in my opinion. He just came against a top 5 guy in Aljamain Sterling, and now he's like, was he even this big of an underdog against Aljamain Sterling? Like, I feel like he wasn't even that. Like, I feel like he was a favourite, arguably. Slight underdog. Like, how these odds make sense? How is he a massive underdog against Yusuf Zalal? Anyway, I've talked about this enough. Odds and everything away. I think Kelvin Guitar's got amazing takedown defense when he's not fighting Aljo. Maybe the injury against Allen has shot his takedown defense, and that's why he got taken down so easily. But good takedown defense, very good boxer. I think he's a better boxer than Yusuf Zalal. Good cardio. You know, this is a guy who's beating on Zabit in the 3rd round. It's a guy who, you know, he got battered by Max Holloway, but he landed some good shots on him. Like, he's been competitive in all of his all of his losses besides the Aljo fight, like he should have beat Josh Emmett. He beat up Giga. I feel like Giga on the feet is better than Zalal, unless Zalal's going to come with a grappling heavy game plan. I don't know, but I'm going to go Kelvin Kattar. Anyway, main event. Jared Cannonier versus Gregory Robocop Rodrigues. You've got to go with Robocop. You just have to. Jared Cannonier, the damage he took his last 2 fights. I know the Imavo fight was a bit of an early stoppage, but that 1-2 was clean and he was really hurt on the feet. And then that Caio Borello fight was literally just him getting battered and the referee being like, somebody should really stop this fight, but nobody's stopping it. Like, the referee was like in there like, oh man, somebody should stop this. Like, I think he forgot he was the referee because Cannonier took an insane amount of damage at 40 years of age. I don't like that. Like, at 40 years of age, I don't think somebody should be taking that amount of damage, and I can't trust them to win another fight after a beating like that until they win. Now, I know Gregory Rodrigues, sometimes he's got an amazing chin, like where he's eating flush knees to the head from shitty Ninchikwi, and then other times where he's just getting chinned by Jordan Williams and Bruno Ferreira. So he's got a very hit and miss chin. He could just get chinned. But he normally only gets chinned by welterweight sized guys. Jared Cannonier is shorter, but yeah, this guy who's fought at heavyweight, light heavyweight. I don't think Cannonier's got the skill to beat a guy like Rodrigues. Like, he's got the skill, don't get me. He's got the power and everything, but I don't feel like he's got the style. Like, I feel like his skills don't match up well against a Rodrigues. He moves forward a lot, but I just see him he's going to get tagged a lot. And at this point in his career, he's much older. He's had ACL injuries and stuff like that. I feel like Rodrigues could just, like, get his back, flatten him out, and beat him up on the ground too. Like, Robocop is very good. He impresses me a lot in a lot of his performances. Very well rounded. I really like the boxing. He's a move forward type of guy, and Cannonier is probably going to be pretty cautious in there after the damage he took his last fight. So I trust in Rodrigues to go in there and get a KO over Jared Cannonier. So I'm going to Rodrigues, first round KO. Jared is always a dog, but the damage. You can't trust that he's not going to just get immediately knocked out in the first, like, flush exchange. So I'm going to go Gregory Rodrigues. But those are my picks for UFC Fight Night versus Cannonier versus Rodrigues. There is some weird odds in some of these fights. Like, I like a lot of the underdogs in these fights, to be honest with you guys. But yeah, let me know who you guys are picking. So make sure you subscribe, put on notifications. I'll see you guys next time. Thanks for watching. See you guys next time. Oh, didn't do too bad last card looking at it. If I would have got one more pick right, I would have been on the top list with all the other channels, because it was a pretty bad card for predictions for a lot of these guys. But I liked that I got a decent amount of picks. I got some good underdogs as well. So I went 7-11, I think, but there was also a draw in there. So yeah, not too bad. But anyway, thank you guys so much. Just wanted to put that out there. I'll see you guys next time. Thanks for watching. Goodbye.